Robert Habibi. So we've got oh, I can see you. I see you. There he is. We see you. You can do some video if you want. You don't have to be scared. You need to connect your audio. It's not connected. That's okay. I can cut this out. I'm gonna do what we're gonna do here is
There you go. Gotcha.
gotcha.
Are we
So
on?
we're on, and I'm actually gonna do we're doing it in 30 minutes. And the buzzer's gonna go off. We'll have
Okay.
1 minute to finish our final thought, maybe, or something, when that buzzer goes off. So we're gonna do 30 minutes. You're gonna drill me hard with some questions.
Okay, good. Let's get started then. Since
Yeah,
we only got 30
Robert
minutes.
Beebe's got questions, so I've started this
Well,
time.
actually,
A certified life coach, as if you this is your third time, so you are the number one guest, but we are doing it differently. I might actually put this in a different episode ring. I might call these something else than the mental breakdown. This could be something. Well, this is the mental breakdown, though. That's exactly what you're doing. You're gonna break me down mentally. Let's
well, that's not the objective to break you down mentally. It is to delve into your mental state.
I like that. It's kind of that double entendre. Mental breakdown is not. It doesn't have. It's not like negative. I mean, to have a mental breakdown is negative, but to break down mental processes, it's. I like it. That's why I use that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I like to break it down. Break. I like to be mentally broken down. Well, wait, no, maybe not that. See, I like to break my mental processing down. I like to have mental breakdowns. I like to mentally, however it is, yeah. Ready.
All right. Very good. So we were talking about this, I guess, so-called miracle pill that helps people lose weight because this epidemic of obesity in America has taken over and it's very dangerous. And this medicine, I guess, reduces one's appetite, suppresses the appetite, and then people are able to lose weight. I don't know how effective it is, how dangerous it is, its efficacy. But
Yeah.
what you did say, which was very interesting to me, was that these people don't have the willpower to lose weight the natural way. And so that got me thinking, well, exactly what is willpower and why is it that these people don't have it? Um, and my question to you actually is, first of all, do you think that obesity is an addiction to food?
To some degree, I mean, yeah, it's an addiction to it definitely can be. It's definitely there's definitely an emotional reward for it. And I I don't really like thinking in terms of disorders but yeah, I mean, for colloquial purposes, absolutely, yeah, I do. I would say that it's something. I don't think people can stop,
Well,
but at a time it does get. I mean, like if we're talking like morbid obesity, then you hit a point where it's actually like you kind of went over the like you can't like once you get to yourself where you can't exercise anymore, then it becomes I mean, there's still I think that addiction, I mean, it's worse than in addiction in a lot of ways because there's a hump. I mean, like how do you get in shape when you're like have gotten to the point where you can't even exercise? It's small steps to to lose weight, and you have to just not eat. I mean, basically, yeah, you just have to starve yourself. I don't know what. So these things would be effective. So things to to fight the hunger, but again, yeah, you're talking about efficacy. So we have to think about health. I mean, meth works pretty well, but stapling the stomach works incredibly well. I always heard it. I don't know if they're actually stapling it. They might, because I know we do use staples in surgery, or they're cutting it and sewing it so it's smaller, so our body doesn't tell us our hunger. So or if you're taking this pill, and I don't know if they have to take some sort of vitamins, or when you're fat, you're able to just live off the fat for a certain amount of time. I mean, I'm not like completely against it, but yeah, I would say it does come down to willpower, because if you can do it with a pill, and then you could do it without the pill. If you could do it if your stomach was stapled shut, or if you could do it on meth, and yeah, you could do it without those things. In either case, I think it would make sense to have some sort of medical professional, health professional, dietitian that is seeing how long they can fast. But I imagine a fat person could fast for weeks, literally. I mean, literally.
Well,
and then, well, I mean,
they had to.
well, water, and then maybe there's certain, I would say, I mean, they're already in such an unhealthy state that fasting would be severe. But if you had something, and so I mean, I'm not against the pill, but in the long, I'm against all pharmaceuticals and surgeries as a like, that's an easy thing. I would rather somebody, I would say it would be healthier to just do it, balls up and do it, but have somebody that's monitoring some sort of biomarkers, because that would be a process. But no, absolutely. I mean, I don't know what studies we've had, but maybe a month, maybe 2 months. I don't know. You know, they might need some substance of, just suck on some salt bones or something, chew on some bones or something. It's funny coming from a vegan. That I feel like if the one thing I think I feel like, if you had nothing, if you had to just like suck on something, like suck some bone marrow or something, I don't know, it almost seems like it could sustain you for longer if you just had one thing. So I don't know, but yeah.
So how would you see the difference between, for example, food addiction and either drug or alcohol or pornography addiction, the other addictions?
Yeah, well, okay, so the same would obviously be like a dopamine intake, the chemical, just the urge. But the problem with the big difference between obesity is you get to the point where it's, I mean, I guess I don't know, is it that maybe it's not that much different, but like, I can't imagine how somebody, if they get to that point of morbid obesity where they can't exercise, and I don't know if they could. I mean, no, I guess they could starve themselves. I don't know. Is it fundamentally? I don't know if it is different. I guess I mean, I try to put that in context. Okay, somebody's addicted to heroin or something, and I still feel, I almost think it'd be easier. I think it'd be easier to kick. Yeah, I feel like there's a hump. I feel like there's this hump that it's like a point of no return. With weight loss, like you get to the point where you weigh so much that you can't lose anything, because you can't move, you can't exercise.
Well, let's not talk about that morbid obesity. Let's just talk about what most people have, which is maybe 30% more than they should weigh, maybe even 40%, which is quite a bit. But, if somebody weighs normally, let's just make it easy, 200 pounds, and they're 260 pounds, well, that's obese. That's 60 pounds overweight. That's a lot of weight to carry.
Pretty obese, but they could exercise. Yeah, you can cut. I mean, like I said, if with any, although my initial stance would be not to go surgery route or pharmaceutical route. It could jumpstart it. My fear would be now you just have another addiction. You've just traded your addiction to food to these addictions. I imagine some of those pills, I mean, they might, it seems like, I mean, I know like diet pills in the 70s and stuff basically were just methamphetamines or amphetamines of some sort. There's probably is a addiction to the pill. I feel like any pill that makes you lose weight and might have an upper to it. I'm sure they can kind of design one that doesn't have that effect, so you wouldn't be addicted to it. But again, there's a lack. I'm against needing to, okay, from now on, you got to take this pill for the rest of your life to maintain it. If you need a little jump start, go ahead, go to your local drug dealer and, get a teener of meth and stay up for 3 or 4 days. And then now your stomach is smaller, if you can't handle the fast, but of course, first and foremost would be to fast and get that stomach small naturally, right? That's all they're doing when they do I know you're talking about.
Well, what they're doing is basically it's suppressing. I think it's what it's doing is it's increasing, or it's not inhibiting, the opposite of inhibiting, whatever that word is. It secretes the hormone that makes you feel satiated, so you don't want to eat.
Yeah,
that's what this medicine apparently is doing. So, but let's get back to willpower.
Yeah,
because this medicine does obviously suppress, hunger, or not hunger. Actually, what it does, it just makes you feel full. So I guess, and if you're overweight, you can use the fat that you have to keep you going, sustaining you. But eventually, this yo-yo diets, it's easy to lose weight for a lot of people. The problem is maintaining it. They always, gain their weight back. So what exactly is willpower, and why do you think that these people lack willpower, and how can they develop it, or can they develop it?
Yeah. How could be different for each person, but I definitely, just by searching for, or again, I guess it's offered to people, this, a quick fix. There are all these quick fixes. There's no way that any lab created chemical doesn't interfere with other body systems. Anything that's like foreign to even they're like, they come from real, there are foods that suppress your diet. Like foods that are high in chromium. I remember I actually would try to suppress my appetite with chromium. I admit I actually did take some that was back in wrestling in high school. I would take, it's chromium picolinte or something. I don't know. I remember it. And there are other things. Those are probably not as strong. So they've probably designed something, and then chromium picolinte, whatever it is, comes from like foods, natural foods, but it's obviously going to be a higher content if you extract it and put it in a pill, but it's still like 100% derived from a plant. So it's just like they take these steps from, it's there in nature. I guarantee you could go to, a native of the land, or, ancient Chinese medicine, and there are ways to deal with hunger, and there's no way they're going to be as strong as these pills, because these pills they're developing, but they are taking those same mechanisms. They look at the natural herbs that activate, and then they isolate them, and then they recreate them, and then they find out how to, create them, just boom, make them 10, 100 times, 1,000 times stronger. So I guess the point is that, yeah, absolutely, absolutely they're lazy because there is an easier option, and it's hard if you think about it. Okay, you can take this herb that'll, make you, 5% less hungry, just to kind of help kickstart it, or you can take this one that'll like make you feel like you're full, even though you haven't eaten in days. But so I right there, just that somebody would go for that option. Okay, we've already just tell them, okay, we've got 2 pills, this or this, and if they go for that, then okay, we need to work on this person's willpower. And it could come from letting them, doing a deep dive on the research, fair research that, shows these, and there always are, even if they're, and I imagine this one would have, I'd love to read the research on it. I'm sure that there's probably people who died and stuff, and there's a small percentage they can just cut out and say, oh, it's insignificant, but even if one person dies out of 100, you can say that, you can say, oh, it's insignificant percentage or something, it's so education.
So how would you educate them, CD? What would you do if someone came to you and said, I'm 50 pounds overweight. I've tried everything. You're telling me I don't have willpower. Can you help me gain willpower?
Yeah, different people, different ways. I like doing the education route first and seeing if you can appeal to their logic. That's kind of my first.
So what would that entail? Okay, let's try
That,
that. So
yeah,
tell me about that.
that would entail, showing the studies, assuming it's not some miracle thing, assuming there are serious side effects, and like letting them know it's not a long-term way to go. But again, I'm not against it's.
What would you change? What would you change for them or for me or whoever comes to you? What would you change for them? Or what would you recommend?
Well, I guess, yeah, I guess it matters how much what kind of life they had. I mean, if I could get somebody someday, you want to come to my land, I'll make sure you lose that, because you're just going to live off of
Okay, you change
food.
the
You're going to live
environment.
off food. I mean, environment, 100% environment. I don't know what I mean. I mean, best case scenario, yeah, come to somewhere like here where you can only eat. Go ahead, eat as much as you want. Eat, but it's leaves and fruits and some vegetables and raw or lightly steamed and cooked, or even baked and fried, even in some cases. But so if they needed a chaperone, then they need a chaperone, or maybe they'd I think one thing with willpower would be seeing other people struggle, and unfortunately, I mean, it's always easier to make it through. I just remember this one time on a bus in wrestling. I'm not claustrophobic, but I think anybody at some point has the feeling of claustrophobia. We do these dog piles on the bus, and I was like under a seat, and there's just everybody on there, and I was at the very bottom, and I was just like, I just had to stop and meditate. I couldn't move at all. I could barely breathe, but I could, if I would have freaked out, I wouldn't have been able to breathe. And then I could suffocate. It would take a while. It would take a long time for everybody to get out. And if I'm the one that panics, basically, I knew that there's another guy. I won't call him out by name, but I knew he was going to panic first. So I just held out, and I knew once somebody panicked that they would slowly come off, but I knew it would take a couple minutes before they got out, and I didn't want to risk the possibility of losing oxygen in my panic mode. So the purpose is, the point is, it would be very difficult, one person in an environment where they're the only one going through it. So best case scenario would be some sort of I mean, it could be one-on-one. I could do it one-on-one. But it might be hard because they'd see me doing it, but they'd be like, oh, okay, but you're skinny or something, which I'm not actually skinny, but compared to them or something. But or in the case of like, that's why it's always like stretching. People see me stretch and they're like, oh, you're just stretching because you're flexible. It's the other way around. I'm flexible because I stretch, or and it's like, so.
So you would put them in like-minded, or not maybe like-minded, but people in a similar situation.
Possibly that would probably be best case scenario, some sort of fat camp or
camaraderie.
I do think, but again, everybody's different. That's how I would do best. But some people could do well on one-on-one because they like that one-on-one coaching, having somebody there. They'd want like bio data, that they'd be real into seeing progress and charts. So again, that could be the more education. They want to see their progress and know that it's working. Other ones I think would work well. So it's different. But it's just.
So let's stick on environment. What are some of the aspects of the environment that you would take away or bring in that would help the person develop their willpower or to become more, to be able to change their life?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Cutting
like
out
temptations and impulses.
Yeah,
what would you do?
I'd be okay with cutting the temptation out. By willpower, I don't think that there's any reason for them, because this is a serious difficulty. I don't see a real advantage to having them in an environment where they have access to it and they have to not, they shouldn't have to look at there should be no packaged food. So if it's a family man or family woman, in their home, and their family would have to be extremely supportive, and they'd also kind of have to do the diet. They're probably a fat family anyway, so they could probably all benefit from it. But like we could no processed foods, and I mean, no packaged foods, just fresh foods, that, prepare. And I mean, the preparation of food is, again, I mean, again, of course, it comes with time and money and stuff. That in an ideal situation, it would be a production. Making your own food is good, getting into it. So I would say that motivation, it wouldn't come from, I don't believe should be forced to be in a situation where they have to resist. It would be better to just don't have that available.
Okay. So do you think it would be difficult, or is it possible to make it so that actually it doesn't entail so much willpower as creating, like you said, an environment where there's no temptation, no, you have people going through a similar experience, so that it becomes actually easier. I mean, it'll take some effort still, but it doesn't require that massive willpower, which doesn't really, I don't think, would work.
That actually, I think you help nail the difference between the addiction here, is that the addiction is not, I mean, yes, that I believe 100, well, but no, it's, I guess it is the same. I mean, drugs are the same way, but in a way, I feel like drugs are going to be, or like addiction, alcohol and stuff. No, there's a lot of similarities, but yeah, what you said right there is absolutely, when that, I believe that the willpower is like, not, it won't be about resisting, that there is something wrong on a just this. I mean, it's like, don't feed the bears, at the campgrounds. It's like the bears don't want to, or don't feed or almost don't feed any wildlife this packaged food, because they'll eat it and they will get these. So there are addictions to it. I mean, they do make foods with extra sugar, extra, there's a science to it. So but once you break that by just going back to it more, a diet that we evolved in, and that's the thing, is there's no necessary thing. Like, if we could be slime molds and live off, some sort of toxic fungus or something. If that's what we evolved alongside, we'd be able to metabolize it, and it would be, nutritious to us. So we just live in this world where we got kind of hijacked. So it is very similar to all these drugs that actually resemble nature, but they're just like blasted. And that's how all these processed foods are. There's, extra carbohydrates, extra this. So they do trigger the chemicals that tell us that's what we need. So we need to break that. And the only way to break that is go back to our, our just a more, a diet that just kind of resembles what, our environment naturally has available.
So, what's interesting, I do believe the environment plays a massive role, because subconsciously we're just taking it in constantly, and we're being affected by it. So when you go someplace like Vietnam or Laos, or even places in Thailand where everybody's thin and one is obese or fat, it kind of affects you. It's like, whoa, look at me, and you just kind of naturally start to shrink to fit in. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that goes back to the environment. I mean, if so, I mean, the environment is the good thing and the bad thing. 100%. I mean, if everyone's, especially like you said, 200, this person's 260, but there's people that are 280 and 300, in comparison. So it's easy to not recognize that you're as unhealthy as you are. I don't want to say fat I mean, fat is real. It's not like a cut down. I mean, but it's real. I mean, somebody should recognize, like, I'm unhealthily fat. I mean, it's to the extent that I want it. I mean, there's, at the same time, you say, they don't, somebody, they really don't care, but most people, I think, do want to be healthy. And if you're healthy, you're not going to be fat. So, but again, if there are other people around you that are more unhealthy, fatter, and more unhappy, more depressed, it kind of that kind of, unfortunately, that gives you a false sense of motivation or something, willpower or something. It's like maybe it lets you think. I mean, we absolutely scale ourselves on based on on the people we hang around with. I mean, the people we hang around with and the people we see and stuff. I think we're always gauging ourselves based on others, and of course, there's good and bad things, and it should be a motivator. Of course, if it gets to the point where it's out of control, then it's going to be the exact opposite. It's going to be, you're going to fall into a deep depression. So, I mean, they're all connected. I'm not saying that somebody fat is automatically going to be depressed, but I would say they're more susceptible to getting to that point where they're unhappy with themselves. And they get to that point because, we also have defense mechanisms. So we might be unhappy with ourselves, but we tell ourselves, no, it's okay. I'm better than this. I can still do this and that. And, I do that all the time. And I try to, I try to check myself because, especially having come from a, as an athlete, and I still have that mentality, like I'm fit, I'm in shape. And then it's easy to, whoa, wait a minute. No, I'm not. I just got tired, doing this. And, so we do got to constantly check ourselves based on not shit. Yeah. So environment, 100%. It's going to hurt us if we're in a bad environment, which we generally are. I mean, health wise, for sure, our diets, and it would definitely take an environment where, that.
And that environment, I think, in my opinion, is quite a bit of it is actually the people that we're around, our friends and workers and customers, perhaps, or people that we associate with on a daily basis. The old saying, "Tell me who your friends are, and I will tell you who you are." Yeah. On a personal level, I one reason why I like talking with you and being involved with you is that I don't have that drive to do more.
You're not showing your picture, but you're a sexy man. You got those broad Iranian shoulders and pretty thin for.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, I feel like I could do more with my life, and I'm not, and I see you doing it. And so by being around you, it kind of gives me the drive, the desire, the will, maybe not the willpower, but yeah, it kind of gets me going, and maybe even get on your coattail or somehow, and kind of do more. And so that's why I think that if someone is around a fit, or they surround themselves around fit, healthy people who are energetic and lively and funny and exciting and full of life, that will definitely impact them, and subconsciously they will cut back on the bad foods and the bad habits and everything that's causing the weight gain, without really, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, without the huge effort that it would otherwise take. In other words, if you try to do it on your own or just with one-on-one with some physician or something, that's not going to be as effective as if you were able to be surrounded with people similar to what you desire to be.
Yeah, you're promoting my gathering, although that's still 17 years away. Yeah, you'll still be around there. You can come and mingle with. That's what I want. I want to have this mingling of there's a lot of important people in my life, and it is important that I maintain relationships with them and I talk to them, and then to have this event that I talk about a lot. So I'm not going to go into detail about it, but I've mentioned it at my land. I could do it earlier, like prototype style, but actually what I want to do is I think it would be good for I mean, it's kind of like a family reunion, but it's more of a friend reunion that you because we do. It depends. It depends on people's situation. For me, it makes the most sense because I am, you know, out in the jungle, and you know, kind of doing my own thing out here. But so I'm kind of getting off track. But what I was saying is that yeah, you're welcome to come here. You're welcome to I mean, yeah, you have been a guru to me on some levels, but at the same time, I don't feel you're ever. Yeah, you always.
I'm not preaching.
Appreciate my comment. I mean, I don't feel like you're telling you're willing to like, okay, maybe this young buck's got a point about that. You know, I mean, you're open minded. So anyway, I think there are people who would also. I got to admit, I've got a fine batch of friends and acquaintances that I've met over my life. I'm pretty impressed with it. I'm pretty impressed with my social group, and I think my gathering is going to be, oh, that's 30 minutes. We're gonna wrap it up in maybe 3 minutes or so. So yeah, this idea that I have is yeah. I mean, and it would be good to check yourself. You know, maybe we might. No. So yeah, I think I have friends that would really get along with other people. That I would love to see you talk with some of my other friends. Like I would love to have this gathering where you just and it won't. I don't visualize like it being a big gathering because I want to do it over a 2-month period, and so it'll be really just be a couple people at a time. Maybe come for a couple weeks. There'll be some overlap. You would only it wouldn't be like a big. It's not like by gathering. I actually mean it's probably only will have so many places. I might have another little couple guest houses. Probably 5 people at the most at any given time, but sometimes it'll just be sometimes nobody. Hopefully 2 or 1. Some people come and go. So I've got this image. And you're one person. My point is, yeah, you're one person that I think you get along with all the people that I talk to, and you get in some deep conversations. So I mean, we need that. That's everybody needs that, and I don't know what kind of lives people are living. Like I've never had that lifestyle where that wasn't the case. But some people definitely get caught up in these cycles of probably work and where they don't have time or something. I don't know. So that's
well, I'm looking forward to the day when you do invite people of like-minded people, or even maybe not like-minded people.
To tell you the truth, it's I might as well just say it's already, yeah, it's I mean, yeah, I want to really kick it off when 2040 is that's the big official one. But basically I would like to do some practicing. We're actually growing a lot of vegetables right now. We hadn't prior to. I was just doing walkways and doing fruit trees and planting. Vegetables are kind of harder work. That's like a full-time thing, and I'm more on like walkways, building these walls, earthen walls, and planting trees, and then ice with Chaya wouldn't let. His name's Gabaga now. He doesn't want to be called Chaya, and I figured, that's kind of cool. He named himself when he was 1. Actually, it was like on his maybe 1 or 1.5. We did this birthday outing on this boat, and he just yelled out Gabaga, and I have that. Luckily, actually, I have that on video. The first time he ever said that word, but it wasn't till like 6 months later that we realized he was using that word to refer to himself. So he actually created his own name to refer to himself.
Man, he's an old soul.
That's completely. I'll completely call you that over Chaya. I mean, Chaya was a nickname that we made up. His full name is Run Santi Chaya Bukraisi. Anyway, so Chaya is a nickname. It's not. That'll always be his official name. That's on his birth certificate. But Gabaga is his name. So anyway, Gabaga wouldn't really let Ice make or go get involved in the garden, but now he is. Now he's at the age he wants to help. They were standing out in the sun all day. Yeah, he got involved in our rice farming that we're gonna do. So I'm the only reason why I'm like my point is why I'm saying 2040. I feel like that's far enough in the future that my land is gonna be like it's gonna be a nice place for people to come. They're gonna be able to relax. Right now, it's still you know,
a work in progress.
It's a work
But
in progress.
I'm guessing it's going to be sooner than that.
But yeah, well, no, it could easily. But I mean, you're already in Thailand, so I would like you to come.
I may come up actually. You know, I'm thinking of taking
this December, because that's when it is. December, January is the best time to come up here. It's so perfect. It's literally just there's no mosquitoes. Mosquitoes don't bite me anyway, or if they do bite me, I don't have any reaction to them. But they did when I was playing baseball out in left field, sitting out there, and just like I remember them biting me. So I think I built up an immunity. But they bite everybody else. But during that time, there's no mosquitoes like ice, and so there's no mosquitoes. It's cool. Sometimes it even gets too cold at night where you need like a blanket, but or you know, we could have a little campfire. And then
I was there this January, February.
Yeah, but you didn't want to. You didn't like the house in the back. But
I
now
stayed there one night. Remember?
Yeah. But now I have where my mom was staying. She comes back sometimes when we do something, but she's living permanently. She's really happy at the living resort where she's at. She even has a boyfriend. So she said if anybody comes, that room is basically nobody uses it, and it's got a proper shower. It's actually got a better shower than we have. Ours is like rock floor, goes straight to the sand. No water heater. There's a water heater on one, but it's really low. But the bath I take is no water heater. It does get cold in that month, but I like the cold showers. I think you do too. But but that place, it is definitely more comfortable. I mean, it's still like, you know, Thai style. I mean, the people that built the house are older than you, and you know, brick by brick mortar, and you know, it was all like made. I mean, you can tell it's not like a made, but I like it more. It's because it's more natural. The bricks are natural. Oh no, that one's actually cement. That room is cemented and painted. So I like my room a little more. But it's standard type, you know, 500 baht a night room, like that style, you know. but it's free for you. But I'm just saying, it's that style. But wow, the other one was like there's holes, you know, it's wood, and there's holes bugs can crawl in, and the you know, the so anyway, yeah, I mean, that's not what the purpose of this conversation, but it is in a sense, because it's being created in real time. Like you said, it will come sooner than later, I think. But
I think much sooner. I think maybe in the next 5, 6, 7 years, as opposed to 17.
Yeah. And then, well, I do. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's already. I already tell anybody that wants to visit, that's the time to come, December, January. Anyway, so, I would like it to pick up. So yeah, I would like people to start coming, and then, like I said, it's not like I don't want to have. I mean, obviously, New Year's could be a time, but some people might actually rather go into the city on New Year's. Yeah, I actually don't want a big group of people at any one time. That I don't want to be a host. That's not my goal. I don't like to host. I like to a party. I want it small groups, but mingling, coming and going kind of thing. And some people might just want to stay here, and then they go to the city, stay a couple nights in the city, come back. And you know, and then, you know, different people would be here, and I don't know what I'll do, set up a something, or I don't know exactly. I guess the main thing is the 17-year thing. Is that's when I'm cutting myself. I'm cutting myself off from social media completely. I'll be done with it right now. I like social media. That's my way I'm connect. I don't know if email will even be around. I'll probably have some source. I mean, considering just doing letters and just saying, I'll be here from December to January. I'll be here. Just come, show up. You just have to show up. I'm not going to be. So I guess I do want to kind of develop it leading up to that point. That's the big one. That's the gathering when it's like, I'm out. I'm not going to do this digital stuff, because it takes a lot of time. Right now I'm into it because I think it could help develop my thing. I love this podcast. I love, you know, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Every video I have, I actually try to keep it different. I don't try to keep the same. Different things have different styles. TikTok's like crack, just to make these crazy videos that move quickly, and you know, YouTube is more tutorial when I get political and philosophical and if I want to talk about health, I almost have to go to Rumble and Spotify because some weird shit that YouTube doesn't allow. And then same with Facebook, but Facebook is more family, friends, and in my project, it's probably more of like a diary situation. So those are all amazing things. I think they're valuable. I think they're worthy of using it. I'm not completely against them, but we all know there is a dark side to them, and that's why I want to set that date for that one. That's the big one that I'm going blackout mode. 17 years.
CD, 17 years from now, I think it's going to be, technology is going to be so, I mean, it could be virtual reality to the point where you could have,
yeah,
oh my God, like a Star Trek.
Yeah, and I might do it. Well, see, and I might do that for when I die. I might, what I would like to do is create, but see, that's what I'm saying. I'm out. Like, I don't care. I'm out. Like, but I'll probably know some people and they'll see what I'm doing, and I'll offer somebody who's good. Like, I don't want to do tech. I love technology. I love making videos. I'm going to stay with all the trends. I'm going to make videos. I'm going to do all the things. I'll be up to date producing material. I'm going to stop producing stuff is what I'm saying. I'm going to stop creating stuff. I'm not going to be creating things. But if somebody wants to come here and like record my hologram and program it in a way that when I die, people can walk around my land and a hologram of me will walk them through some meditations or something, I'm totally down with it. So that's the big thing. I'm done with it. I don't, because it takes a lot of time. I believe I have it under control, but I also don't. I love it. I love creating. I've always, my fight videos, unfortunately, that YouTube channel got taken down, but I loved making my videos, recording them, little speeches. I love this. I love this podcast here that I'm doing. So I love creating material, but it does take a lot of time. And by giving me that window, all right, I'm going to cut it off here. And then at that point, I'm just on the land. I don't know if there will be a way to connect to me. I rather just do it by letters. I don't even want to do email, but we'll see. We'll see what way, but it'll be I don't want to have anything that I check on a regular basis. Maybe I'll check it, November 1st, 1 month before. And
you're talking about 17 years in the future. My God, listen, most people are content consumers. I would say maybe 1 in 10,000 are content producers.
Well, nowadays there's probably there's a lot of people, but
there are a lot of people, but I'm telling you, I've thought about this. I remember telling my students that. I remember telling them that the TSU saying, look, right now, mostly of you are just consuming content, but at some point you want to make it a target or a goal to also produce content.
Yeah, I mean, and the more you create, the less you consume, for sure. I don't have time to consume. I don't see what people are posting. The more stuff I post, the less I see. And the more I do, the less I post, because like I'm behind. I want to do. I'm not really doing the clips. I upload my podcast quickly, but then like making I want to do take some snippets and kind of promote it, but I'm just like that stuff is I'm way behind on that. There are a lot of good things. I want to just take some clips because I know a lot of people won't listen to these whole things. I just take a short clip, say here, show that, post that, and then say if you want to watch the whole video, watch it over here or listen to it over here. And I want to do that. I want to do more of that, but it is time consuming. So I'm balancing it with my life. I like it. I enjoy it. But I'm definitely a creator over a consumer.
But by producing content, I don't mean posting pictures or videos of yourself doing things on Facebook or YouTube. I'm talking about content that people can benefit from and learn something.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Okay. So I guess that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And I even started because I've been doing my English lessons every week, and they're really good, I think. I mean, for my students that I've been posting those as well. I do a dry run. It's like, I don't know if anybody's going to watch them, and I speak way too fast. I actually speak really quickly. I call them advanced English, but there are people who have advanced English and they want something. So I'm speaking at this speed, but I'm going through these slides that I designed for my students mostly in China, from like, 14 to 18, high school students, pretty bright. They understand these concepts. Of course, when I'm learning with them or I'm teaching them, I go slower and there's dialogue and there's conversation in there, but I just like run through my thing. It's kind of fun for me. I do it sometimes before, sometimes after, and then I post it, but I'm there's people watching it. I don't know who they are or how long they're watching it for necessarily. They're not a lot, but it kind of goes up. I think there are some people who would benefit from that. And that's like, has nothing, that's like a completely different side project, except that in my lesson, I do talk about my week every day, because most of my students, they have nothing to say when I ask them, what did you do this week? And part of it is because all they did was school and extra lessons. But I try to model, and sometimes I feel bad. I might be.
I got a suggestion for you. Ask them, what did you learn? Because that's what they'll do. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, I do, because I want to learn. I think Chinese history is, and they have is amazing. I mean, I think there's so much. I wish we were taught more. I mean, all their, dynasties and stuff. They learn that. So I try to get them. Okay, what did you learn in Chinese history? Tell me about your history. But it's really difficult for them to do. Or when they go on a trip, a lot of them go on a trip. I've got a friend going to Tibet, or Xizang. That's what you're supposed to call it, according to Xi Jinping, or the foreign thing. We've got a couple areas. Well, Tibet is more a region that covers India and China and Nepal and stuff. But that, anyway, yeah, I'm like, go, okay. I'm like, but I have to tell them ahead of time. I'm like, you have to send me pictures of like basically food, historical sites, and nature. I want to see some pictures, and then you're going to talk about them. So when they actually do something, it's really hard for them to get me. Yeah, I do that, and it's hard to get them to say anything they learned from school. I don't know if they're learning anything. The only one I'm able to get, and that I'm interested in, is some Chinese history. They're not interested in telling me about it. I really have to beat it. I'll have to be like, okay, what dynasty are you learning about, or what, because they have to learn all the dynasties. I would love to know all the dynasties, just in order, and then kind of in relation to, Persian Empire, Greeks and Romans. I mean, that civilization was developing.
I got another suggestion. You could actually go do a quick research yourself.
Yeah.
About and then ask them questions.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, how well they can answer.
I did know they can't answer shit. They can't do it. Now, maybe part of it is because it's English and they're learning in Chinese and it's difficult, but yeah, I think they're lazy too sometimes. I am able to get some students. It's hard. It's really difficult. No. So anyway.
Well, maybe they just don't know it well enough. If I were to ask
that, maybe
the average American, tell me about American history, tell me about the Civil War, which is, a big event in America, most of them wouldn't really have much to say, other than there was a war over slavery in the North and the South, and
no, that's true.
4 or 5 years.
And I'd say it's probably getting worse on a lot of levels, but I admit I don't. Yeah, history is really interesting, actually.
It's a story.
It is. It's a beautiful story, and it's so I mean, even with the propaganda, but I mean, every textbook, every country is going to have, it's. I mean, you get enough world history, you're able to kind of, I see what's really going on here. I mean, there's so much interaction between, the East and the West, even in those olden days. I'm still trying to develop my understanding of everything. But anyway, I got to go now. And
okay,
excellent talking to you. We'll meet again.
We'll do it again next time. Yeah. Okay. All right, CD. Well, enjoy talking with you.
Yeah, look at that. Show those shoulders. I mean, I gotta tell you that we have the move called the Iranian, which is you get in between. Yeah, you get it in. You shoot a double, but then you put their leg, or they sometimes sprawl out, and your head's in the middle of their legs. Boom! You pick them up, and you got both legs over here. In WWF, you might do something crazy, just suplex them on the back. But in collegiate wrestling or something, we flip mode. There's a couple different ways. It's modified because in Iran they're going to do the freestyle wrestling, which different point system. That's actually illegal. It's a little more finesse with the collegiate. But anyway, there he is.
There he is, the one, the only.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, CD. We'll see you soon.